What's up, guys? So, today I want to talk a little bit about the game engine Motorsport Games is working on, and a couple of other small little things. Sort of a continuation of my last video with the Q1 earnings call transcript, and a couple of other things that maybe I could straighten out. Uh, Real Radman just released a video on this, and he goes through the article in pretty good detail. So I'm gonna skip a few things and only focus on a couple of things that I want to talk about. So yeah, I would suggest go check out his video. Very good video, and I pretty much agree with almost everything he covered in the video from his take from it. So I'm just gonna give you try to make it not such a long video this time, but let's just go through a few things. I gotta skip a few things. Let's see, Dimitri. There's something that yeah, all right, hold on. Bear with me. Yeah, they fill these articles with a lot of fluff, so you got to kind of comb through it. And I definitely don't want to read everything. I'm proud of our team. This is Dmitry Kozko, the CEO. I'm proud of our team. Hold on a second. And the progress we're making toward the launch of NASCAR NXT and building motorsport games into a world-class interactive entertainment company. So as you can see here, they're still calling it NASCAR NXT or Next, whatever you want to call it. Now, I did say yesterday that this is there's still a big possibility that this is just a placeholder. This could be maybe not the actual title of the game. And Radman said that it's not going to be the title of the game. So I do trust him. I'm sure he has sources that I don't. So yeah, he said that's not going to be it is just a placeholder. So that's fine. I don't think the name of the game is that important. And honestly, if it was me, I would just call it NASCAR, whatever the year it's released, and just stick to that. You don't have to get fancy with it and come out with some fancy name. Just call it the year that of release, whatever. So this year, NASCAR 21, uh, that would be fine by me. So let's get into the rest of it. I'm proud of our team. Progress we're making towards NXT, blah blah blah, and we're operating 24/7 across continents with more than 122 team members at the close of the quarter, expanding our development resources by 30%, growing fast from where we were just months ago. So this is something else. They are hiring more and more people. They're spending money. I keep telling you guys, uh, just judging the move by the business moves they're making, they're not fucking around. I like that. They're being very aggressive, and it's very clear they want to dominate the motorsport gaming market. It's not just about NASCAR. It's going to be about everything that they could put under their umbrella. They want to take it over, and I like that attitude. That it's aggressive. And at any given time, our developers and programmers are innovating, collaborating across the U.S., United Kingdom, Russia, Australia, and now the Netherlands. This global studio presence is differentiating as we seek additional IP opportunities to expand our fan base. Blah 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 blah. All right, I'm trying to just get to the things that matter. Okay, they're talking about the studios they've acquired. Uh, This is particularly the case with NASCAR NXT, where we anticipate the game to be released in the back half of the third quarter. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be September, right? That is the back half of the third quarter. I did say September, October yesterday. Really, it's September, so that's still the third quarter. October would be the early part of the fourth quarter. Obviously, somebody did point that out, so that's correct. Um, okay, this is another thing I want to focus on right here. The quality of this game is said to be incredibly high, and the realistic experience it provides is what our fans have been asking for and what they expect from a world-class gaming company. We continue to strive towards our goal of achieving a AAA status where this game franchise truly belongs. I love hearing this. Um, yeah, it should be a AAA title, and it needs to be treated that way, and the development needs to strive for that. So they keep they are kind of hyping this thing up a bit. They're talking about high quality. They're talking about realistic experience. They and at another point he does even talk about the graphics. So here we go. The game brings high quality, realistic graphics to consume the player in the real world racing experience while showcasing the unique and fun characteristics of NASCAR. This is possible due to our recent strategic initiatives. Okay, they ultra high realistic graphics. All right. Since completing the acquisition of Studio 397 and acquiring their hyper-realistic technology platform, R-Factor 2, we have been able to accelerate the integration of this technology into the new NASCAR game. Furthermore, we will now integrate the technologies with the complete understanding and security that it will, in the future, integrate at the source code level as part of that MSGM engine. Okay, now we know that the game engine they've they've said was the Unreal Engine. I'm not an expert in this area, but what I believe this MSGM engine, whatever that stands for, I guess Motorsports Games, whatever the M is, uh, I'm assuming that this is the physics engine and that the Unreal game engine handles other aspects of the game, right? Even though the Unreal Engine has its own physics engine, it's not optimized for racing games, right? It's a sort of one size fits all physics engine, and this is huge and really important. And I think I did talk about this in an earlier video about the importance of having a game engine that is customized and in-house, something that the developers of that company know how to use efficiently. It can cut a lot of development time and save these companies money, and just overall the efficiency of being able to use these engines that are specifically designed to work for racing games. That's huge. Instead of trying to make something like the Unreal Engine do everything and just try to find workarounds, this is going to deliver a better uh, final product. So I love hearing this. This is everything they're doing is really aggressive. And like I said, it doesn't sound like they're taking shortcuts. Now, again, yes, they're going to hype it up a bit and paint everything in the best possible light. But even taking that into account, you know, they're putting their balls out there on the table for everyone to see, and just at some point, either this game is going to deliver or it's going to be something that where people walk away and say another developer that overhyped their game. That would be disastrous. And I honestly believe these guys. I don't think that's what they're doing. And acquiring these studios, spending the money, it falls in line with, yeah, this. I'm expecting this game to definitely be the best looking visually NASCAR game we've ever had. And why wouldn't it be the best in terms of gameplay mechanics, like the physics and the AI and all that stuff? It is 2021. We all hold the Thunder series in high regard, specifically 2004. That game is always going to hold a special place in our hearts. But let's be honest, we're talking about a game that is extremely old, several generations of technology old, and I do expect this game to be better. Now, am I saying it's gonna be better on every level, like the details of maybe the career mode and certain little things you're able to do that were able to do back then? These guys may not be doing that, maybe not. But overall, I expect this to be the best NASCAR game we've had. It should be simply because of the technology. It's 2021. I would be really surprised if they put out a product that can't beat a game from 16 years ago. Okay, so um, yeah, and this, I'm excited to hear about this. And like I said, I'm not an expert on the technical stuff with game development, but I do believe you can have two, like a physics engine with working separate from a game engine, right? If there's somebody out there that really knows about this stuff, if you want to correct me or if I'm wrong, just let me know. No problem. I'd like to know for sure, but I do believe that it's possible to do this stuff. Um, and that's what it makes sense to me because they already announced the Unreal Engine, and now they're talking about this. And I don't want to spend too much time looking for it, but I do believe somewhere here they do refer to it as a physics engine. So I'm guessing that this this engine here, this MSGM engine, is basically for physics and probably a couple of other things. But it's great because it they're gonna have tools at their disposal that are customized for the games they're making, which are motorsports games, racing games. I just, one thing that Radman pointed out, a great example that I'm gonna bring it up as well, is yeah, EA for their EA Sports games, we're still using the Frostbite engine, which was made for Battlefront. So Battlefront and a sports game, whether it be soccer or football or whatever, it's just apples and oranges. They're nothing alike. So you could imagine that using an engine developed for a game, an open world game or a first person or third person shooter type of game or an adventure game, to be using that for a specific a sports game, there has to be a lot of compromises, and you don't want to have to make compromises. So now you got a physics engine, uh, and that they're going to be able to use exactly for the purpose intended, which is for these race games, and making sure that the physics are the best they can be. That's big, big news, and it's good to hear these things. So yeah, it is. Until we actually see some examples of the game, whether it's screenshots, gameplay videos, and they actually get into detail about the game itself. Yeah, I understand some people who are like, I'm gonna wait and see what's what first. This is all well and good, but this is all business side stuff. This is how this is how the sausage is made. People are more interested in the final product. Show us the. I can't fucking say that, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. People really want to get to the actual game and information. Personally, like I said, I'm not gonna flip out. They're gonna they're gonna reveal information when the time's right. Now that we have a game release date, it's not an actual pinpointed date, but we know it's gonna be sometime in September. I'm good. We're gonna get that game, and we know that at some point before that, they're gonna have to talk about the game. They're gonna release information. So don't flip out. Don't get carried away with like, hey, it's getting late. We're coming to the end of May. It's not that important to me. I'm more interested in when they finally do talk about it, make sure that it's accurate, that you don't show us something that's not an accurate portrayal of the game. When you talk about the details of the game, that it's firm, firm information. It's not something like, well, we're trying to get this in there, we may or may not. Don't fuck around with that. Just when you finally release the information, it has to be direct, it has to be 100% accurate. And as I said in an earlier video, don't play games with the marketing. um, Let the game speak for itself and focus on what is this game and what's really in it. We don't need glorified uh, cutscenes and trailers of stuff that you're not going to see in the game. You know, and they are pushing this narrative of the game's going to be high quality and ultra realistic. Well, you need to treat the marketing in the same way. Don't treat it like some dopey kids game that needs a lot of hype and cars, a 20 car pileup with explosions and flames everywhere. We don't need that. We want to know what the details of the game is. Let the game speak for itself and make sure that information is accurate. So that's pretty much it. It's really more or less, the fact that these guys are pretty much pushing this game and letting people know it's going to be high quality, it's going to look great, it's going to play realistic. It's pretty ballsy, but they must be very confident in their product. So I love hearing that. That's what I want to hear. So I'm not going to be negative until they show us something negative. And then, if you start seeing stuff like, okay, these guys are full of shit, they're just overhyping a game, I'll be the first to, you know, call it out. But I don't believe it is. I really think these guys are legit. They're putting their money where their mouth is, and I love the moves they're making. So I do expect this to be an impressive game. I'm not going to say it's going to blow your mind, but I do expect this game to be the best NASCAR game we've had. And the reason I say that is, honestly, we haven't really had much to really brag about when it comes to NASCAR games. Most NASCAR games have been disappointing. In fact, I remember from like 2006 forward, even back then in those days, a lot of people forget that even when EA still was doing the NASCAR games, they were going like this downhill. So really, it's that 2003, 2004, 2005. Those three games are the pinnacle of NASCAR games. And Dirt to Daytona. Let's not forget Dirt to Daytona. That was a great game as well. But really, if when you look at all these games released under the NASCAR title, just haven't we really have been just disappointed year after year. So for me to say I expect this to be the best NASCAR game we've ever had isn't really that big of a stretch, right? It really does just have to beat out like NASCAR Thunder 2004. And as great as that game was, it's time now that is a dated game. If they can't beat that out, yeah, then these guys really, I would consider it a failure. So visually, it's got to be the best looking game, and physics wise, gameplay mechanics wise, how I don't see how it can't be better than those Thunder games because of the people being hired, the people behind this, and they are super focused on making the actual feel of the racing be as authentic as possible. And if they can't beat out a 16-year-old game, then yeah, they should pack up and go. So I do expect this to be the best NASCAR game we've had. And I say that I don't want people to say, I know saying just hearing those words, it sounds like, oh my God, now I'm getting carried away and overhyping it. But it's not really overhype. Just looking at the landscape, there really isn't a lot to brag about in terms of NASCAR games. Really, and they even said it here. They want it to be a AAA title like it deserves to be because they're admitting we haven't really had AAA level NASCAR games, at least since the Thunder Series. So, yeah, I do expect this to beat out everything we've seen before. Yeah, so I say that, you know, uh, I know it sounds crazy, but it's really not. It's not that big of a statement. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. And, I wasn't going to do a video, but I've been like any little information that comes out, I try to talk about it. Let you know, guys, what I think. And then, I look forward to your comments. Let me know what you guys think. All right. So, yeah, until we get other news, I'll see you guys around.